Hello everyone, welcome back to K-Notes. This is your host Kostav. And today we are starting something new at K-Notes. I'm calling this the living room dialogues. Real conversations with real people who have written their own rules. And by the way, they are all around us. Have their stories shared with all of us so that we leave with inspiration, learning and reflections to evolve and be a better human being. Our first guest today is someone who embodies this completely. Malvika Singh. She was someone who was handed a script full of limitations, but she just didn't break it. She started writing it in a completely different way. From a remote tea garden to being a corporate leader herself, her journey isn't just inspiring, it's a masterclass about sustainable growth with self-definition. So I hope you will be there till the end of this video. You will engage by commenting, you will connect with us. Living Room Dialogues with our guest today, Malvika Singh. Okay, we are rolling, yes.
All the best, guys.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Okay, great. Welcome, Malvika at K-Notes.
Thank you, Kostav.
Start by asking you, who are you as an individual? And how do you really see the world?
Okay, as an individual, I'm an explorer. And when I say explorer, I like to explore places, people, myself, most of all. This journey started sometime right after I was born. I've been blessed to be born to my parents. But I think right after being born, I was, 3.5 months old when I got a polio attack. My father was in tea gardens that time. And when I got the polio attack...
And tea gardens, sorry to cut you, tea gardens as in the
West
northeast?
Bengal.
West
Yes.
Bengal, great.
Bagdogra, that side. So my father was a tea planter. So when I was born after 6 years of marriage to my parents. So you can imagine how important the baby and me I was, right? When we were born around that age, Costa, when in the same age group, polio drops were given when people would turn 2-3 months old. Before that, they were not given. Nowadays, kids get it the next day they are born. So in our case, what had happened was I was born and then doctors said I got fever. They couldn't catch that, what is this fever? And they said, she has fever, let's wait for some time, then we'll give her polio drops. And they kept waiting, symptoms were going. And then my father took me around everywhere. I was not getting well, and he probably knew all the doctors around the east side. But that time, in those days, there were limited, medical assistance. So people couldn't figure out what I had. And it's only after a month the doctor said that maybe you may want to check, she may have polio. This is after a month. Throughout this 1 month, they misguided. My father just rushed to Bombay.
Okay.
And at that time, nobody could imagine that this could have happened. It was just not expected. So by the time we reached Bombay, we were told that she's got polio. And you wasted the time period where she could have been...
That 1 month.
That 1 month where she could be recovered. We could have given her oxygen. No muscles would have been damaged. She could be absolutely fine. But you lost that time. And the thing that they said was that she's got mind polio.
What does that mean?
So there are two kinds of polios. If you see typical cases, people are limping on one leg and, or they literally go brain dead.
Okay.
In my case, it started from my legs, it stopped here. God knows what stopped it. But they told my parents that you are lucky that she's not got mad. And, she's that one of those rare cases. And so I got that and then they said, this is what it is, you have to live with it. That's where my journey started. People start walking at the age of 1.5 years. I started walking when I was 3.5 or 4 years.
Okay.
That's when my first step happened. But now, if I think back to it, I started walking late, but did it stop me? It didn't. That was the first stereotype I broke. And as a kid, parents and everybody around you who love you want to put you in a cocoon, want to protect you. And that's how, like every other family, my family did the same. But my parents, my mother more so, was so particular that she has to be independent. And so was my father. Now he's no more and, it just comes out. But when I was growing up, I have cassette recordings of my father telling me, you have to grow up, you have to go to college, walk in your heels, drive a car, go there. That's how I've been brought up. That is the first time as childhood, in my childhood, I was told that you have to learn to break shackles. And that's how I've grown up. In the East that time, there were not many good schools. And I could not be left in a hostel that time because I used to wear metal calipers.
Okay.
Yeah,
On
so
your
metal
legs.
on my legs. So when I used to wear metal calipers, I needed help. You know, my leg used to be straight. And Kaustav, I tell you the amount of falls that I've had. This was always swollen. So my parents said, okay, if not East, we'll move you to Rajasthan because that's where my grandparents, my uncle, aunt, they were there. And so I moved there because there were better schools. So when my father and my mother went for an admission to this great school, they said, you need to put her in a special school.
Because of the polio.
You know, because maybe she'll write slow. Or, you know, what if we don't understand her? My mother said, no. You have to keep her in the same school. And she has to learn to match, go shoulder by shoulder with everyone. And trust me, I am so grateful I did that. Because in my mind, I was always that I'm never less. So which brings me to the point that it is what you believe at the end of the day. People talk about manifesting. It is believing. It's truly believing. And as a kid, that was inculcated in me throughout. I've gone through 12 surgeries in my life.
Wow.
And all of this happened when people are focusing on studies, learning to play sports. That's when I was in hospitals. Sometimes bedridden for 6 months at a stretch.
And was this because of the
Polio, yes.
that you had? Or?
Yes. It was all because of the polio. Because polio cannot be completely cured. You can only get at a better stage. There was a point after those 12 surgeries, today I'm without calipers. And so these surgeries are not just surgeries. Getting back from it is a bigger task. I chose to get back to it. I always felt that you have to stand up. Failure is okay, letting yourself fall, but getting up quickly is what is going to make the difference. So that helped me do this. And when I moved to, this is when moving to college, right? I was in Jodhpur, I was studying, doing well. And then I said, I've been too protected, you know. It's time I need to see the world, be independent, feel that I can manage it on my own. And I said, okay, I need to move out of the city. And I remember I've always had long hair.
Okay.
One of the things I had to do was, if I have to move out of my house, I need to be independent. You should believe in people, but you can't depend instantly. For somebody who's leaving her house for the first time in her life, leaving the family, no support system, how would I manage? So I had to make sure that I'm fully equipped, not dependent. So I remember I had long hair and I got admission in this MBA college. And I said, okay, somebody has to make my hair. So I said, one of the things I can do is I'll cut my hair. One dependency less.
Okay.
So when I chopped my hair, and my grandmom just looked at me like that and she's like, I don't want to look at you. Why did you do that? And for her, I got this nose pierced. So I did that. But that small decision gave me one step, gave me so much of confidence that, okay, this is one thing I will do less. So the reason I'm sharing this story is everybody's battle is different.
Right.
For somebody, it was okay leaving home. For me, when I left home, it was a big task for me to even cross the road alone. Then I became somebody who left home, stayed in a hostel, managed her way through.
One dependency less of...
So every step, because I gave myself that chance to get into an uncomfortable zone, to try new things, I was able to explore, I could do this. So in me, one thing that I really, really knew, keep trying, keep exploring. Exploring. So I am an explorer.
Like I want to check with you, this is a part of your identity, right? And there will be there are times where you have to accept that part of your
Yes.
identity,
Yes.
and there have to be times where you also have to let go of that part of your
Yes.
identity. Have you ever experienced a moment where you have felt that there is a huge assumption that people are making about you?
Yes, yes, and I'm so glad you asked that, because see, when you said to consciously accept where where you lack, I am not saying that when I say you have to believe that you can do it, that is for my mental abilities. But when it comes to my physical abilities where I have restrictions, I probably think twice about it. For example, people say, okay, I can catch a flight an hour before. I have to take a flight. I have to reach the airport 2 hours before because I want to make sure my wheelchair is not delayed. And it is not about depending on them. It is in my mind, I choose punctuality. That is one of my quality. And nobody is telling me I can get a wheelchair maybe after an hour and a half before also. I choose that I don't want to be late for something. I want to make sure that in my mind, I'm in that comfortable frame where if I need to go the extra time, wait for somebody to probably assist me somewhere, I have vouched for that time. Even at work, when we are going for meetings, we are moving in different floors, right? Some might say, okay, one floor, if it's not there, I will walk and go. I will vouch 15 minutes for that. So that's how I plan my day.
Your level of preparation goes
Is
up.
very high. For me, even if I have to constantly sit for a couple of hours, I need to plan certain things. And for that, I would start planning things much in advance. Right? So that gave me, in fact, that's given me a muscle power of that skill. So I look at it again with a lot of positivity. So that is, you're absolutely right. Not being delusional, but being very, very cognizant of the fact that my physical ability might limit me, but my mental ability should only shoot it 2x.
I also feel that, and I'm going to keep this wokeness apart, and I don't want to trivialize that part, but I think it also becomes an equal responsibility
Of people around you. Absolutely.
to be cognizant of who they are engaging with.
Exactly. To your point, if you remember, how did we connect? We connected because of the way you were with me. We meet hundreds of people every day.
Correct.
But there's something that in me said, I like this person. I connect with this person. This person understands me. I used to get extra time in my boards. I never utilized it because I was trained not to utilize it. But I would sit in a room where we were made to sit separately. What kind of feeling is that? Where people who are getting extra time are sitting separately, obviously for invigilation purpose, I understand. But I would see people, they didn't even have the choice to choose what they want to wear. Seeing that, to being able to value what I have this thing that, okay, you may not understand people, but you always know how you want to be treated. And that clearly says you only assume what you would like in the other what you would like the other person to do for you, that you can feel. The other thing is, it's very easy to ask. Trust me, if you ask with the right intent, you will get the answer. My work is such that I have to deal with people.
Yep, you give jobs.
I thank you, that's very kind of you. But my work is to deal with all kinds of people, and more so with the new generations, right?
Correct.
And trust me, when I go on campuses, when I go and meet new people, there'll be some people who will assume, okay, we will, I'm not saying wheelchair is bad. I use it at the airport. But I understand what are my restrictions, and I also understand things that I can do. People just say, I'll get you a wheelchair. With the expression. Please understand, how do you see yourself? Do you see yourself who wants to, in today's generation, most of the people don't want to be considered as dependents. Yep. If you want yourself to feel independent, what would the other person feel? And inclusion of is one of the most important things. tomorrow if my friends are meeting me and they're saying, okay, we're going to a place where there are high stools. So you have to understand, and one of the data points that you had shared, Kaustav, earlier, if somebody feels an emotion which is 1, somebody who's physically challenged might feel 2x of it. So the kind of, even if you make them feel included,
in a
that
positive
feeling
way,
will
that
get
is also
2x.
Yeah.
So you have to understand those little things create huge impact.
Yeah.
And people have to understand that.
Yeah. And it also goes back to probably what you were sharing about your mother, right? Because your mother has experienced that independence for herself, and she wanted herself to be treated as an independent woman, she wanted to see you in that light
Yes,
as well, right?
yes.
And furthermore, I think today what you do with the early career talent, you create like a pathway for them to transition from college to careers.
Yes.
That is also providing that independence, right? And you make a very important point about consideration and being mindful of who, the what, and the whereabouts of people you're engaging with, because it can translate throughout anybody's life spheres.
Exactly.
Right? And before doing this, as I was sharing, like, I mean, when I am thinking of stepping out as a parent, am I taking consideration of what my child actually wants?
Correct.
Or when I'm meeting someone who is much younger than me, I am listening to their perspectives and not saying that, oh, you guys have gotten it easy. हमारे टाइम पे तो ये होता था, हम लोग तो ये करते थे.
Trust me, everybody's battle is different.
Everybody's battle, and even with the elders, because your relationship with parents, right? Like quite often we would think, or I have been there at myself where I've told my father that you could have done this, you could have done this, you could have done this. See, मतलब और वो ज़्यादातर आ जाता है privilege में. That is what is where the learning is, right? Like at the end of the day, it's about how you would be, the way you would want to treat yourself, like you said. You treat others.
Yes.
And in reciprocation, you get the good things only.
Yes.
Because you are contributing to the society and the people that you are living in.
Absolutely. And imagine, when I said 2x of that thing, we all know, in today's world, everybody values service, right? Customer service is topmost, right? Why is it value service, right? Now we think of it as customer service that, okay, that's going to give us gains. Why can't we think of it in terms of empathy?
Yeah.
You know, and making a better society.
Those big words, be customer centric.
Exactly.
Basically, what it is telling is understand. Do you empathize with your people?
Yes, and you are doing it on a corporate fund. Why can't you do it in your personal lives?
Yeah.
Imagine the kind of impact it's going to create. You know, imagine the kind of environment it's going to create. Today, you think if I don't get that kind of empathy from people around me, the good side of me would come out? It wouldn't. One would feel restricted, one would feel very subdued. And I've gone through that. So I can relate environment A versus environment B.
Two things that you mentioned, the choices that you would want to make. And the actions that you take towards those choices, right? Now, I'm sure you would have experienced a lot of narratives for yourself.
Yes.
And मैंने इसमें दो चीज़ें अलग करता हूँ, क्योंकि काफ़ी लोगों को ये भी लग सकता है कि because you have the disability and hence, but you still have challenges as a human being.
Yes.
Plus एक और चीज़ जो है, you are a woman. Right? अब मैं स्टीरियोटाइप नहीं करना चाह रहा हूँ, बट फिर भी शायद ये हो जाए, क्योंकि वो है, it's a fact of the society, right?
Yes.
Now, when you think of those context, right, and you are in a world which is aggressive, let's put it that way, simple. Now, काफी narratives बनने लगते हैं, right?
Yeah.
So, very interested to know what those narratives are, and as an individual, how do you really navigate those narratives? और मैं ये इसलिए पूछ रहा हूँ because quite often when you talk to people, they are built into these narratives, like I was, कि बॉस engineering किया, engineering के बाद MBA करने का, उसके बाद job ढूंढने का, life settled. नहीं होती है life settled.
नहीं होती है.
Right? And then you lose so much of time.
Yes.
Correct? The other thing is that, oh, I have to be a good son. or
Yeah.
I have to be a good
Daughter. Wife,
good nobody
mother,
knows.
whatever. Yeah,
Good nobody knows, right?
Yeah.
So, like, what are those narratives?
Yeah.
And then how do you navigate them?
So, first thing, when I was growing up, kids can be naughty, and they are naughty, right?
Right.
But there was a narrative, okay, because she's got this, by default, she'll be very subdued, very sincere,
okay.
and, you will be the nice bacha, obedient. Not that I wasn't, but I'm saying, like any other kid, I wanted to do things which all kids do. So there was that narrative where I used to, do things which all kids do, right? Because that time teachers would be like, I remember once I was given a punishment and I was told, we don't want to punish you. You have this problem, but we have to punish you because you have to learn. And in my mind, I'm like, yeah, you punish me, no? But then don't say you're like this, right? Right?
I'm not asking you concession in the punishment.
In skating ring was newly built in our school. I said, I'm going to do it. And everybody, "Oh, listen, you don't do it, you will fall. And in my mind, I'm thinking, I fall every day. Big deal. So I took the skating shoes and I started on a thought, I fell. But I was very happy because I did what I wanted to do. See, there are people who will vouch for you. There are people who will wait to say, कहा था ना? ऐसे सबकी लाइफ में होता है. मेरी लाइफ में भी थे. There are people who are in that category who said, you will fail. पक्का you will fail. सोचो तुम जा रही हो, यहाँ पे इतना गिरती रहती हो तो लोग तुम्हें उठा देते हैं. वहाँ पे कौन उठाएगा? और सोचो किसी लड़के ने तुम्हारा हाथ पकड़ लिया तो तुम क्या करोगी? Very dramatic. Somebody who's left their cocoon after such a long time. बहुत अजीब टाइप की जनता थी. मुझे ऐसा लगा कि कहाँ आ गई हूँ मैं. ऐसे भी लोग होते हैं. फिर मैंने कहा कोई बात नहीं, रहने लगे. अच्छे लोग भी मिले. एक पॉइंट ऐसा आया, हॉस्टल में पीपल वुड हेल्प. Sometimes they would help, sometimes I would not ask for help. But I realized, even if you ask for help, pattern is not the right thing. For example, you should never become a liability. Basically, that's the thing.
Makes sense.
From the society to the hostel. लंबा रास्ता भी है, but I couldn't walk so much. तो एक रास्ता था that used to go through the slums.
Okay.
I used to see, okay, people would wait, okay, now Malvika will come, we'll go. 1 day, 2 day. And not that they were fixed people. जो भी मिलता था, I would go. But once I remember, there was somebody who said, I'm coming. Oh yeah, but I have to get her also, and I'll come. Maybe she didn't say it in that manner. But it stuck with me. Next day, I woke up early. I woke up, got ready. 8:15, I was standing right across the highway. Walked across the highway. I said, half battle won. Then I kept looking at the phone. Then I crossed the slum. I was so careful. Kaustav, to my surprise, how much I've fallen in my school life compared to what I did in the 2 years, not even a single fall happened.
Touch wood.
Subconscious mind. I said, I can't give chance to people to say that I failed. And I had the phone like this. Kuch hua to I'll call people, come and pick me up. But it didn't happen. They didn't get a chance to say, kaha tha. And I'm so happy now those guys are saying, can we come and stay with you in Pune? I'm hosting them. And I love it. That how tables have turned.
Yeah.
So that was a narrative. People felt that there is a certain kind of personality that somebody would have. Like, for example, I was told, why do you want to go to college to Pune? Why don't you, just do some course or become a teacher? I am not labeling.
क्योंकि फिर तो शादी हो जाएगी.
शादी हो जाएगी? नहीं, शादी तो तुम्हें करनी नहीं. क्योंकि तुम फिजिकली कैपेबल तुम्हें मिले ना, होगी नहीं क्या पता. पर तुम यहीं पे रहो, सब तुम्हारा ध्यान रख लेंगे. And my mother's retired principal. So I have a lot of respect for teachers. But that's not who I am.
Right.
I wanted to explore. I wanted to see what I can become, what I want to do. So I came out today also. When I'm living here and when I tell people, my job involves a lot of traveling. There is wheelchair involved. There is support involved. But does that mean I stop traveling? That's a narrative. That you have so much of a problem, you stop traveling. Why? That is one of the biggest narrative in my life. I am somebody whose work involves travel and I'm proud of it. And I've never felt restricted.
It's more like, तुमसे तो नहीं हो पाएगा,
तुमसे तो नहीं हो पाएगा,
तो रहने ही दो,
तुम रहने ही दो, तुम ऐसा जॉब ही क्यों कर रहे हो?
हाँ.
आई एम somebody who's done parasailing, who's done rappelling, who's done snorkeling,
Wow.
and my next is skydiving.
उखाड़ लो जो उखाड़ना है. And कहीं ना कहीं that stopping would also come from, let's say,
Care. I
Let's
agree.
give that benefit of doubt.
Absolutely,
But
it
I
is
think
care.
where the miss or the gap is ki boss, there are two things. One is let it happen.
Yeah.
Let them learn it on their
Yes.
own. Because you can't control everything
Correct.
at the fence.
Exactly the point. You can't control everything.
And the second thing is that like वो individuality तुम बनने तो दो.
बनने तो दो. अच्छा, और अगर तुम मुझे बोलो यार ये डेंजरस है, थोड़ा ध्यान रखना, ये भी कर लो वो भी कर लो, तो बात अलग है. पर तुमने कैसे बोला करो ही मत. मैं ये नहीं कह रही कि बिल्कुल मतलब 30 मार खान बन जाओ और बिल्कुल खतरों के खिलाड़ी, है ना. आई एम नॉट सेइंग दैट, बट एक तरीका होता है, देयर इज अ वे.
You have to trust in the process.
Exactly. And you can support, you can be helpful by supporting my dreams
Yeah.
rather than stopping me from living.
Yeah. At the end of the day, जो ये कर रहा होता है, right? For them also, it's a learning experience. कि boss, what is it that I can test myself with?
Exactly.
To have that self-awareness.
And sense of achievement, Costa.
And achievement, yes.
If I want to get to, say, top of Mount Everest, I'll at least reach the base camp.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you are saying you don't even go to the base camp.
No, like for example, this thing, right? Keynotes
Yes.
pursuit.
Yes.
You know it. I've been trying to think
Yes.
about this for so
Yes.
long. 2 साल लग गए to kind of do this, what
Yes.
we are doing today. But I've had these narratives to tell that, boss, why are you doing? You have a job, just do it.
Do it.
It doesn't matter.
Huh.
And then the other thought process was that, oh, it's very difficult. You think this happens in one day. I'm saying I don't want to do it in one day.
करो,
I am ready to give in that kind of a thing, that struggle. But yes, there are these narratives which starts getting
Yes.
formed basis the labels and the stereotypes that
Yes.
are there.
And in today's world, Costa, if you can't do what you want to do, then it's a shame. आजकल सब है, सब कर सकते हैं.
No, makes sense, and it is very true. And I think what I want to pull out is that at the end of the day, it will be with me.
With me.
That choice. My actions, my consequences.
Exactly.
I remember जब मैं बच्चों को पढ़ाता था, so I used to give them an example that see, this is a pencil. One end is an action, the other end is a consequence. Good, bad, ugly, कुछ भी हो, consequence तो आना ही
है.
And you have to be responsible.
For that, you should take that responsibility and have the ability to get up after that. Yeah. I spoke about my 12 surgeries. There was one surgery जिसमें they were trying to join a bone in my knee जो गलत जुड़ गई. उसको ऐसे जोड़ना था, वो ऐसे जुड़ गई. I was in my 10th.
Wow.
And they said now you'll be bedridden. मैं 3 महीने प्लास्टर में हूँ. I have gone to the hospital to get the plaster removed. वो कहता है तो गलत हो गया. उसने वापस सर्जरी की है. एंड अगेन आई वाज बेडरिडन फॉर 3-4 months. तो ये बिगड़ गई थी मेरी सर्जरी. व्हाट वाज द इजीएस्ट थिंग टू डू? ड्रॉप दिस ईयर एंड अगले साल कर लेना. एंड इट्स ओके, नो बिग डील. एंड आई एम नॉट सेइंग दैट्स अ रॉन्ग थिंग. ऑप्शन था, आई अग्री, मे बी दैट वाज अ कंफर्टेबल थिंग, कर भी सकते थे. बट आई डिडंट वांट टू डू इट. आई चोज नॉट टू डू इट. माय चॉइस वाज 6 महीने गए ना, अभी भी 3-4 महीने हैं. हो जाएगा कुछ ना कुछ करके. एंड नॉट दैट आई वाज इन 90s, फेयरली डिसेंट. 70s में आए थे मेरे परसेंटेज. पर मेरा साल वेस्ट नहीं गया. मुझे चाहिए था वो. आई नीडेड दैट. आई डोंट वेस्ट दैट ईयर. I didn't want to. And it gave me such a huge sense of achievement that I fell down and I got up. And every choice has a consequence. वो 3-4 महीने were very tough for me. Because there were people vouching saying, what if you fail? But in my mind, I had made peace of it thinking, if I fail, it will be after trying. Yeah. You can make peace with failure as long as you know that you had put in your best. So I could take those choices because I knew myself.
Because we are talking about choices and we are talking about narratives, right? Narratives रहेंगी, right? Good, bad, ugly, अब वो रहेंगी. जैसे भी है, depend करता है कि what is going to affect you, right? In your case, and if you have to address this to, let's say, 100,000 people listening to you, what are those 3 or 5 things that you will recommend as actions or maybe mindsets that will or that has helped you to make choices, be okay with what you have said yes to and what you are saying no to, and at the end of the day put in that fight?
If you're facing that, you have seen your life journey, you know what you have done in the past and what has worked for you, what has not worked for you. Basis that, you know exactly what you're going to do. So have faith in that. Have the courage to face it. It's very important to have a smile and staying positive. And you have to understand there is a core circle that everybody has. You have to have those people who will always vouch for you. It doesn't have to be 100. It doesn't have to be 20. 2 people are also enough.
Yeah.
If you have those people who are going to vouch for you and will support you. Look at failure as a stepping stone. And, you know, falling is good because it tells you that you tried something. There are people who will be like, I won't do this, I will sit in a room. I will sit in a room, nothing will happen. You'll be safe. No bruises, nothing. But you're going to stay there. So if your goal is to stay there, please go ahead and do that.
And that's a choice you made.
That's a choice you made. But if your goal is, no, I want to be on top of that mountain, it's okay, fall, get up.
Yeah.
Have those 2-3 people that are going to help you get up and show you the reality. I'm not saying people will just say, oh, you are a star in everything. No. But who will show you the mirror where you went wrong and you trust them. I think everything starts with that trust. And if you want to find those people, first you have to trust to get trust.
Trust yourself.
Trust yourself,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So that. And I really go by this song, whether you sing the English version or the Hindi version. Hum honge kamyab, we shall overcome.
Makes sense. Because I feel that in today's times, and I'll be honest, I have also done that to myself, where I have made my life as if statement. कि अगर मैंने ये करा तो ये होएगा. वही होता है.
वही होता है.
अच्छा पढ़ो, अच्छा स्कूल तो अच्छे मार्क्स तो अच्छा कॉलेज, अच्छा कॉलेज तो अच्छी जॉब.
हाँ.
वो it becomes like an if, but it is not if statement.
It's not. And to your point, when we started, you said, अगर ये नहीं हुआ तो I did not pass out in like 90s or whatever when I did my schooling. तो इसका मतलब है लाइफ खत्म? नहीं.
पर कभी कभी लगता है कि हमने या हमारे आसपास या शायद कभी अपने लिए भी कुछ चीजें हम बड़ी बना देते हैं कि यार अगर ये नहीं हुआ
तो नहीं मिलेगा,
तो भाई कुछ भी नहीं हो पाएगा.
ऐसा नहीं होता. तो जैसे मुझे आज भी याद है, मैंने एक कॉलेज में अप्लाई किया था और मुझे लगा था ये तो मैं कर ही लूंगी क्लियर. और जब मैंने वो क्लियर नहीं किया तो मेरे को 3-4 दिन तो ऐसा लगा लाइफ खत्म. अब तो ऐसे ही किसी कॉलेज से करना पड़ेगा. ट्रस्ट मी, मैंने जिस भी कॉलेज से पढ़ाई की, आई एम सो ग्रेटफुल, क्योंकि मे बी दैट वाज इन द बैक ऑफ माई माइंड. आई पुट इन मोर एफर्ट एंड टुवर्ड्स द एंड मुझे वो दूसरा कॉलेज मिला. एक पॉइंट के बाद
कुछ तो ऐसा भी होता है ना, कुछ चीजें तो लिखी हुई भी होती है, कोई माने या ना माने. मतलब I've over the time I've become a very strong believer of the fact that I am grateful for what I have and I am also grateful for what I don't have.
अगर लाइफ में अच्छा ये भी हो गया, बहुत पैसे होते तो कहीं हम होते, क्या पता फाइटर.
तेरे पास है, मेरे पास नहीं है.
अरे देखेंगे अभी थोड़े टाइम में दोनों के पास होंगे. तो मैं मुंह में घी शक्कर. तो पर फिर हम फाइटर पहले मतलब अपनी प्राइवेट जेट में, मैं एक जेट में, तुम एक जेट में. बट दिस ब्यूटीफुल फ्रेंडशिप दैट वी हैव, वुड वी हैव इट?
टाइम ही नहीं होता ना तब तो.
टाइम ही नहीं होता. मुझे लगता है उससे ज्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट ये है अभी.
Makes sense. And कहीं ना कहीं do you feel कि मतलब in your journey and we have gotten into our 30s, right?
Yes.
जो ये वाली जो aspects होती है, aspects like personal development,
yes.
growth mindset,
yes.
Self awareness,
yes.
We don't learn to value them
like early in our careers,
but
yes.
then we start getting into this.
Yes.
because at some point in time we then realize कि बस skill building तो हो जाएगी. We can learn things.
Yes.
But these are some aspects which are much experiential, difficult. What
And
do
see,
you
that
think?
is also beauty of it, no, Kaustav? आज मैं तुम्हें कितना भी बोल लूँ कि you should do this or you tell me you do this. एक तो वैसे भी we are in 30s, 20s maybe. I'm sure people who are going to listen to us, some of them will be in 20s and they'll say, मैं गलती करके सीखना चाहता हूँ. There's nothing wrong in it. But there are all kinds of people.
Yeah.
Some people will probably learn by aversing this risk, by listening to us. And for those people, to your points that you said, you know, staying consistent, you know, being invested on your learning, being conscious about your surrounding and being able to be that better person. How much important it is.
Yeah.
You know, those things you may not see it immediately, but at the back of your mind, if you have it, probably what we are realizing today, you will realize much sooner and maybe to a greater power.
Yeah.
So why not let yourself reach there?
Yeah. वही ना, समय से पहले और समय के बाद. There is nothing. But I agree. I think for me also there was a point in time where I trivialized all of these things. Because I am an engineer, right? ये हमें ज़रूरत नहीं पड़ती. And then when life hits you, then you realize that boss, hey, wait a second. कुछ चीजें हैं जो सीखनी है, which you have to go through, pain, whatever.
And life throws you like that.
But that is why I have never, I think not never, मेरे को never नहीं कहना चाहिए, but ये जो हम goal setting करते हैं ना, वो ये मेरा थोड़ा belief कम है, because if you look back, even if we are closing the 2025 year, and if I ask you कि मालविका तेरे best moments क्या है, I am sure वो अगर if you highlight 5, वो 5 में से 3 तो ऐसे होंगे जो you would have not decided for.
Exactly.
And that is why the life cannot be if statement.
Exactly.
Right, and it has to be.
You have to live what comes your way.
Yeah.
That's why I said, being ये करना है. There is no way. इसमें चॉइस नहीं है. इसको सेल थ्रू तो करना है. ये चॉइस है, हंस के कर लो, रो के कर लो.
The worst advice that you have ever got.
तुम्हें जहाँ लग रहा है कि तुम गिरने वाली हो, तो मत जाओ ना आगे. बैठ ही जाओ, छोड़ दो.
Let it be.
Let it be. या तुम्हें खुद क्यों करना है, कोई और करके दे देगा तुम्हें.
That advice that you would recommend the younger generation to not listen to.
That you are less in any way. But please understand, when you feel confident, you feel that you are at par with people, don't let it become arrogance. Humility is very important.
Recent purchase of 1,000 rupees or under 1,000 rupees INR that has changed your life.
That has changed my life. I don't know if it's a good thing. I've started doing oil pulling.
What?
Oil pulling.
Oil pulling? What
oil
is that?
Oil pulling is putting coconut oil in your mouth and
कुल्ला करना. What is that?
That is, it's very good for your, you know.
तो ये तो क्या 10 रुपए में हो जाएगा?
नहीं 10 का नहीं था. अच्छा वाला ऑयल लिया है, 400-500 का. एक तो वो, that has changed my life. It's good for your heart, good breath, good for your teeth. Cavity goes away.
And beyond money, what has been your biggest investment?
My family and my friends.
One book, podcast, or any movie or anything that you would recommend, like boss, ये तो you have to.
एक तो Atomic Habits. I love that book.
Habits, okay.
It is outstanding.
Yes.
I love listening to Matthew McConaughey's Oscar speech. That is, you know, whenever I feel low, I watch it. It just, you know, and I can relate to it. So people who've not watched it, watch it.
It has been amazing. Amazing.
Thank you. The honor is mine. Thank you.
मतलब मेरे लिए तो it was something more to learn about you as a friend, as an individual. But I'm sure, like, I think the way you have experienced your journey thus far, and I'm sure you are going to have an amazing journey going forward as well. But the learnings, the reflections, they're very real, practical, relevant. Most often we kind of get into the midst of, you know, the flashy things, the hustle bit of it, fit better, do this, but I think that it is not required. At times it is just those small actions, those small choices that you
at your own pace, you know?
Your own pace, and you get through. So I think essentially, I'm sure the listeners, the viewers would be taking away toolkits for themselves. I hope that people are also taking away that if they are facing challenges, they are not the only one.
Exactly.
And everybody also has the choice to find joy out of everything.
Out of everything.
For the viewers, do let us know in the comment section, what did you think, what stood out, what did not stood out, what could have been there. Feel free to reach out. Can I say that?
Absolutely.
Reach out to Malvika. She's there on LinkedIn, Instagram. I'll put in the links in the description below. Tell them, how did you feel?
I loved it. I'm so grateful that this is reaching people. And I'm so grateful that we did it in such a safe space. I am so grateful to you for thinking of me when you chose me, when you decided on this concept.
Yeah.
Let's invest in creating this community which thrives, grows together, and is invested in making sure it becomes a better place.
It becomes a better place. And on that note, thank you everyone. Do subscribe, do share, do like, and of course do comment. Please do take care of yourself and people around you. We will meet you again in the next dialogue at Keynotes. This is your host Kostav, and all of this for all of us to be a better human being. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Malvika. Good job.